we don't talk about individual authors very often on this show because it's real easy to get lost in the weeds, and most readers have not heard of most authors. But Brandon Sanderson is often um, gives you a sense of where the whole industry is headed. He
Yeah.
often will get there 5, sometimes 10 years before the rest of the industry. And he's a very important person to watch from a marketing perspective, but also from a writing and craft perspective. And one of the big questions for a really long time is why are there no Brandon Sanderson movies or TV shows? Because most authors who've
Right.
sold as many books and as he has already have multiple movies out by now. And to be fair, he did write Wheel of Time books, and the Wheel of Time has been made into a billion-dollar series on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
But those aren't really his books, and the part of the story that's being told by Amazon isn't the part that he wrote.
Correct.
And so the big question is, when is Brandon Sanderson going to get his movie deal? And what's very interesting is that Sanderson has been holding off on signing deals. And what he's been holding off on is creative control. He wants
Yeah.
to maintain creative control. And this is a big zeitgeist shift in terms of how people see Hollywood generally, but also authors specifically. So it used to be if you sold your movie rights to Hollywood, you could trust that they would make a good movie based off of your book. And you had a fairly high degree of confidence that they could either make a good movie or they could make a better movie than you could make if you had had their budget.
Sure.
Hollywood has lost that reputation in the last 5 years. The Hollywood slop situation is so bad right now. And Hollywood is really struggling to find an audience for its films that people like Brandon Sanderson are no longer driven by the number at the bottom of the offer. And instead, what Sanderson fought for and what he got from Apple TV, because the big news is Sanderson signed a big deal with Apple TV.
Yeah.
And the big thing he got from Apple TV was creative control. We saw the beginnings of this with the book show The Expanse, where the author negotiated for him to be in the writing room for the TV show. So I don't think he was a showrunner, but I think he was in the writing room. And the result was The Expanse is actually a very well written TV show and very faithful to the books. And by having him in the room, it kept them from trying to reimagine or fix all the things they're doing in Narnia, right? It's like, oh, let's make Aslan a woman. It's like, nobody wants that. We'll get to that in the Zeitgeist segment. We'll get there. So I think that there's something to be said about not being so hungry that you're able to hold off until you're famous enough and you have negotiating leverage enough to maintain creative control, because it makes Sanderson's book or these adaptations more likely to be successful. And Apple TV wrote him what sounds like a blank check. They're not doing just a movie or just a TV show. They're doing a movie plus a TV show plus more if those do well.
You also have to understand Apple TV is uniquely positioned to be able to take advantage of this because, first of all, they're known for actually doing pretty good shows and movies. It's at least semi-unique content from what I hear from the subscribers. There's like 3 subscribers, but they're all enjoying what they're seeing.
I mean, they adapted the Foundation series. That series is famous for being unadaptable to TV because of the way that it's written, because the story takes place over thousands of years with no recurring characters. The adaptation isn't great. Like, the show's not a great show, but the attempt is admirable because that is unadaptable. And they at least made an attempt.
Now, Apple TV also doesn't need the money. They don't make their money from their streaming. They actually usually lose money on their streaming, and it's supported by the rest of the company. Now, there is a rumor Henry Cavill wants to play Kaladin in the Stormlight Archive adaptation. Thomas thinks he should play Dalinar instead. The point is, Henry Cavill is renowned for his adherence to source material, which has been in the news. You know, he dropped from The Witcher over it. He's known for clashing with screenwriters over what they're doing to the source material. So if Henry Cavill comes on board, Apple TV is going to get an absolute blast of subscribers. It's going to be obscene.
I still think he's Dalinar. I agree with Xavier. He's more likely to be a Kelsier than a Kaladin. He's not a Kaladin. Stop trying to make Kaladin. I know everybody wants to be Kaladin. And of course, Henry Cavill wants to be Kaladin. But that's not how I would.
Well, we'll see what happens. He's still on 40K right now, so we'll see what happens. And he's doing Highlander. That's coming out soon. There's a lot happening here. But
speaking
looking at how the industry is starting to shift based on how much money they're losing, but not just that, how much interest. They're now losing cultural power because it no longer matters how good the CGI is on something because of AI.
Which brings us to our next story. Is AI better than Hollywood slop? You see, it's not about racing against the bear. It's about racing against the other hiker. And Hollywood down. It is not as fast as it used to be. And just in the last 2 weeks, we've had 2 new models that came out. The first was Kling 3.0, which was from a Chinese tech company, Kaishio, which was just unbelievable. It was making things, I will show you an example from it here in a second, that's just mind-boggling. But then a week after that, Seadance from a different Chinese company came out that's even better. And the thing that's interesting is that because these are Chinese companies, they have no obligation to follow any sort of American copyright law, which is also breaking Hollywood in a second way, because people are creating movies of famous actors fighting each other, and it looks like it was actually filmed. It doesn't look CG, it doesn't look AI, it looks like an actual scene. And what it's competing with is AI. So John A. Douglas posted something on X, and I want to see if I can demonstrate this with y'all. I'm going to be using our new technology. So I'm going to be playing a game with you and with Jonathan, where I'm going to share with you screenshots from current fantasy shows, and I want to see if you can identify the fantasy show. So, Jonathan, let's see. Can you?
I got this.
Can you see this?
I see nothing.
Okay, hold on. All right, here we go.
There we go.
What fantasy show is this?
Wheel of Time.
It's not Wheel of Time. Anybody in the chat is delayed.
I have no idea.
Okay, so that's the point. All right, so now we're going to go on to the next one. So Thomasonian says Witcher in the chat. So how about this one? What is this from?
Oh, that's Wheel of Time.
It's not. This is the point. This is a totally different show, and it looks identical. Okay, so now this one. What's this one from?
That's Wheel of Time. Okay, I do know that one.
Okay. All right, fourth one. What show is this from? Fourth show.
Oh, wait. I know her. I hate her. I know that guy. I don't know what this is.
That's the point. So the Hollywood slop is so generic. The actual promo photos from the shows, you cannot differentiate one fantasy show from another. Okay, so I want to compare that with what one guy was able to make with Kling 3.0. And I'm going to see if I can play this video. I will say this video is PG-13. I'm rating it PG-13. So if you have small children, you may not want to have them watch this. Let me see if I can
watch it. It's good for them.
Assassins! Assassins!
You there. Go on now. This is the King's chambers. But what are you waiting for? What are you? I'm sorry.
Tell my brother. He must find the most important words a man can say.
And that was completely made with AI. So there were some rough cuts there, right? It wasn't quite Hollywood quality, but from a design perspective, it had a unique look and feel. And I think a big part of the reason why it had a unique look and feel was because it was made by just one person. So the reason why all those Hollywood slop screenshots were so similar was because it was all designed by committee, and designed by committee gives
And
you
it's usually the same committee.
it's the same slop every time, and it becomes indistinguishable. But now you as a human could, with your own book, use these tools, Kling 3.0 or Seadance 2.0, and make a trailer or even a cinematic full-length video of your story with that level of production quality.
Right.
And the rate of improvement of these tools is going up exponentially. So the improvement just from this year to last year is really different. Like just last year, Will Smith couldn't eat spaghetti, and now he can eat spaghetti and do kung fu.
So, and one thing that this tool would be good for is pitching your book as a movie, because that's something that happens in the Hollywood thing is they don't expect really nice trailers to come to them. There are submissions to them which are really rough, a lot rougher than that, even on the acting, where they will submit, hey, this is what the concept for this movie could look like. And you got the submission out of that. And that's what producers will look at, and they'll be like, I could make this happen. And now with AI doing this, I mean, you've got book trailers, you've got ads, you've got website content, you've got all kinds of cool things. I did the Grok thing where you animate your book covers, and people are like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, yeah, read the book. Like, that's what's in the book.
And the cost differential, this isn't like half the price of Hollywood or like 10% of the price of Hollywood. This is 0.01%, which means for the same price of a Wheel of Time TV show, which I think was $100 million for a season of that show, you could make 4,000 or 5,000 equally length shows with AI, most of which would be awful, but some of which would be really good, and maybe one or two of which would be better. And that is kind of the world that we're adapting to, of the swarm of bees, right? It's not that this one barbarian unit invading this one region of Rome is a risk. It's that there are barbarians invading on both the Persian front and the Gaulish front and the Illyrian front, and the Picts are a problem in Britain, and it's all happening all at the same time, and it's overwhelming. And that's why Hollywood is so spooked, and why they're going to try to fight it in court, because they know they can't really compete with quality. Sure. Because the temptation is, oh, look at those mistakes in the video, right? This cut was rough. This dialogue didn't line up very well. And that's the wrong approach, because it's going to be better in 6 months, and it's going to be way better in a year. And eventually it'll be perfect, where you can't tell the difference. And some people already can't tell the difference. A lot of people are watching a lot. Did you know how many Super Bowl commercials were AI generated? Several of them. If you didn't know what to look for, you didn't notice. And it wasn't the commercials by the AI companies. Those use real footage from real humans.
My feed is filled with Wolverine fights Thanos videos and stuff like that. The matchups people wanted to see in the movies that they didn't do for whatever reason, people are now doing through the AI, and you can actually see what people want through it. There's measuring demand, but you have to understand Hollywood controlled the supply for so long that that's why their quality fell, is there was no competition. There is now competition. And now people on AI can produce anything as good as what they're making now with better stories. Like you're seeing this with Daily Wire and the Pendragon cycle. People are really enjoying that show. Out of all the fantasy bombs that have happened and people yelling at the source creators, I don't see anyone doing that over Pendragon cycle. There's not enough noise over it. As a matter of fact, it got a shout out on Joe Rogan a little while ago. So
well, now it's getting a shout out on Author Update, which is only slightly less popular than Joe Rogan.
You know, like he
a little, you know,
he can make some improvements to his show, I'm thinking. But the thing is that now the supply is up for grabs, because now we can make videos, you can make movies. There's guys who just like to do it, even if they lose money at it. Kind of like being an author, right? So they don't control the supply anymore, which is and the demand hasn't changed, except that the demand wasn't being met by Hollywood. And when you stop performing at the level you're supposed to, it doesn't matter how much money you dump into it. Nobody wants to watch your stuff. They just announced Spider Noir with Nicolas Cage, and I do not care.
Oh, I care.
I do not
I care.
so much. I do not care. It's Nicolas Cage. Okay, like
I like Nicolas Cage.
okay, his
We
best.
just
role was
rewatched
Drug.
the American the
National
ones where
Treasure.
he's National Treasure as a family. Those are quite good. We have some good comments. Jaina says, I'm caught in this weird space between being thrilled with what I can do with AI and being completely fatigued with the whole thing. And I think that captures kind of the feeling of the age, the zeitgeist, if you will. Because what happened with music yesterday and what is happening to authors today is what is going to happen to Hollywood tomorrow. And the gatekeepers are losing control. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. Gatekeepers did provide value, and they protected the people inside the city from slop. And now the slop is going to come in. But they also protected the people inside the city from unique and innovative art that was different. And the gatekeepers blocked it because it was different. And now that unique and innovative art is going to be able to get through. And
So you can
new tools will be able to be used.
You can see the level of panic that Hollywood is in by just looking at the Avengers Doomsday cast. Literally everything says this person will return in Avengers Doomsday. Everybody's going to be in Avengers Doomsday. Why? Because they screwed the pooch so much over the last 5 years. They can't get anyone to care. They're bringing back all the old actors. They're bringing back old characters. They're putting all the characters they have into it, trying to create some kind of event that nobody cares about. So they have lost the monopoly on video storytelling, which is a huge deal. That's a seminal shift because Hollywood has always controlled it, unless you're into Bollywood. And man, you're going to see some changes in Bollywood with AI. I mean, they were already doing crud like this, and it's about to get wild.
Thanks for watching Author Update, publishing news that actually matters to your career. If you're lurking, just tap like.
Yes, a tiny tap to signal you are human and not a bot farm in a warehouse.
I'm pretty sure the bots can click like now, Jonathan.
Okay, my bot army, hear my voice. 01110100.
The bots understand English now. You don't need to talk in binary.
Meep morp, ladies. 01100010.
Humans, save us. Like this video before it's too late.
0110110011.